How about a little meteorology? Are you worried about the climate? Do you think the planet's warming? Do you think the planet's colding? Do you know nothing about geology? Have you ever cracked a physics book? Okay, I'm not going to rant. Anyway, there's the NASA GOES lightning mapper. Quite a bit of lightning here over places like New Mexico, Arizona, Utah, Nevada, and a concentrated area there in Alabama in the southeast as well. Continuing on to the real-time lightning map. And by the way, this video was originally streamed live to twitch.tv/smAsho. And let me just make sure that it is streaming. Everything looks perfectly fine here at the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. And please consider becoming a patron, especially if you're viewing on BitChute. And make sure you check us out on YouTube if you're only viewing the videos on BitChute. If you're only viewing on BitChute, you're missing about 80% of our content. So there's our real-time lightning map. Quite a bit of lightning here off the coast of Florida and Georgia. And I think we've got some terrestrial strikes. Hey, Tucson, there's thunder rolling in. You may want to check out lightningmaps.org when you hear thunder. Check it out. It's 420, y'all. Yowzers. Thunder rolling in at Tucson. Next, I'd like to thank our patrons, the true source of funding for this content, as we're paid just this side of nothing to put the videos on YouTube. It's all going to change, folks. We're approaching 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. And if you've got ideas for our 2,000 subscriber special for YouTube, let us know in the comments. Thanks to our patrons for being the executive, associate, and assistant producers of the channel. Patreon.com/smashamash for all kinds of early alerts and updates and science information nobody else gets to see. We are in the process of explaining the solar polar field reversal cycles and the sunspot cycles and so on, and the mechanism behind it. Please consider funding us, as we need lots more assistance in order to accomplish our goals for the year 2021. Patreon.com/smashamash. And let's take a look at pressure. Massive anticyclone here. You see this clockwise rotation over the northern Pacific. A massive anticyclone here south of the Aleutian Island chain. Another massive anticyclone here over South Africa. And that's in the southern hemisphere. It's rotating counterclockwise. That's the way they do in the southern hemisphere. Let's advance this into tomorrow. This is the European forecast for pressure at 1 p.m. tomorrow, Saturday, July 24th. Continuing on to look at nullschool.net's jet stream imagery. It's the 250 hectopascal winds. Again, it's on nullschool.net if you want to look at it yourself. We've got extreme meridional jet stream flow once again, and convective forces largely in charge of the U.S. Normally, the jet stream sweeps your weather from west to east, and currently, we're seeing not a lot of that over most of the U.S. as the jet stream is staying to our north, as you can see up here. And when convective forces are in charge, as opposed to the jet stream sweeping your weather from west to east, you can expect some funky weather systems moving in an abnormal direction, and so on. There are the surface winds of the western portion of planet Earth. Here are the surface winds of the eastern portion, and it looks like this typhoon over here has actually weakened as we forecasted, and it all has to do with sea surface temperature. So let's take a look at that real quick before we continue on to look at the jet streams of this side of the planet. Here are the sea surface temperature anomalies, and you can see there's cold air all around there, which serves to weaken tropical systems. Thank goodness for that. Anyway, going back to the surface winds, that thing is still loitering there off the coast of Taiwan. Here are the jet stream scenario for it, and you can see at the jet stream level, this has actually weakened. There's less of an input. You can expect for this to continue to weaken here as a result of the combinations of cold water. Anyway, we've got extreme backward jet stream here over the western Pacific, places like Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and so on. jet stream also blowing backwards over the northern Indian Ocean. It's blowing east to west, otherwise known as backwards. So here's the National Weather Service map, and check out all the flood warnings and so on here in Arizona, New Mexico. We've got a forecast for that. Some flash flood warnings in some of those locations. And the more mountainous your location is, the more dangerous sudden rainstorms are. And here's what we're talking about. It's actually turned deadly around Flagstaff, Arizona. If you see something like this, get the heck out of the way. That might look like it's harmless. It's far from harmless. That weighs thousands of tons. Monsoon flooding turns deadly in Southwest. This article here from AccuWeather.com. El Paso at 445% of normal rain. Please do not attempt to pole vault the mudslide. Mudslides are quite dangerous. That stuff is really massive. Anyway, there you can see the heaviest rainfall maps and so on. Hopefully that helped you. And again, if you see something like this headed your way, don't take a moment to press like and subscribe. Get out of the way first, then press like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell your friends and foes about the channel. So here's the precipitation forecast, total accumulated precip according to the GFS forecast, and you can see through Monday at 6 o'clock Universal Time. That's actually 2 a.m. That's 2 a.m. on Monday, Eastern Daylight Time. You can see forecasting here for, looks like about 5 inches of rain there, and a large swath of mainly Arizona, a little bit in New Mexico as well. Continuing on to look at the U.S. Doppler radar map. Heavy rain falling from Phoenix to Tucson and also around El Paso. Michigan and South Dakota also receiving some rain. Most of the country not seeing precipitation at the moment. And give me a moment to just refresh that. We are streaming live. It's the dangers of streaming live, folks. Anyway, there's the water vapor map. And here's what's going on in the cloud layer. Ah, the dangers of streaming live. And I do see a counterclockwise rotation down here. This is a tropical low, certainly. It's very obvious here north of the Isle of Hispaniola. And it is surrounded by dry mass of air, so we don't expect that to strengthen either. And once again, convective forces are at play here as opposed to the jet stream. That is why your weather might look strange if you're in especially these monsoonal areas like West Texas out to Southern California. So here's a recap. There's the U.S. Doppler radar map again. And those systems are going to stagnate down there in the southwest as a result of convective forces being at play as opposed to the jet stream. There's the cloud layer, the 3.9 nanometer radiation map from the NASA GOES Interactive Weather Satellite Suite. And there's the water vapor map to close out today's meteorology segment. Thanks for tuning in. Remember that carbon dioxide is not a pollutant. It is the most important trace gas on Earth at the base of all food pyramids. It is the basis for all life on Earth, except perhaps for some extremophiles in ocean vents and so on. But pretty much carbon dioxide is the basis for all life on Earth and not a pollutant. Tell your friends and foes. I've been your host, Dan, a.k.a. smAsho, signing off from the Smash News Network, least busted. Naming news.